Hey there folks, today I'd like to take a casual peek into the Green Lantern Classics Bidge, Despotellis, and Dex-Starr action figures by Mattel. These figures are number 4 in the second wave of the Green Lantern Classics subline of DC Universe Classics, and also included in this set is the part to build Stell, the Collect and Connect figure for the wave. This set was first released in 2011, and I purchased this set off a website called Toycade, and I'll post a link to the website in the description down below. And I can't remember how much I paid for this set because I purchased the entire wave, or at least enough figures to build Stell. And I believe the total cost for 6 sets were about $100. Taking a look at the Lantern critters in the package here, and I call them Lantern critters. We have Bidge here, Despotellis up here, and Dex-Starr over here. And below them is the torso, the upper torso for Stell, the Collect and Connect figure for this wave. On the back, we have here a nice picture of the 3 Lantern critters there. And then we have a biography of the 3 figures, or 3 characters, and their statistics down here. And below that we have figures from the second wave of the Green Lantern Classics. We have Sodom Yacht, Carol Ferris, Gahoo, the 3 critters here of Bidge, Dex-Starr, and Despotellis, and Not Kaloy and Medfill, and Scalox and Nightlick. And here we have Stell, the Collect and Connect figure. Now there are no variants in this wave, but sort of a variant, but not really a variant. But these 2 sets here have parts to build either of the 2 characters or figures in the set. You can either build Not Kaloy or Medfill with this set, and you can build Scalax or Nightlick with that set. Now we'll be right back and have the Lantern critters here out of the package. Alright, we have the Lantern critters here out of the package. And before we get into these critters, let's go ahead and take a look at the Collect and Connect piece that comes included with them. And that's the upper torso of Stell. And this is a pretty neat piece. I really like it. It's got a lot of detail, and you can see right away the big Green Lantern emblem there in Stell's chest. And you can see all the inner workings of Stell underneath. It's very, very cool. And then you have these shoulder pads here that are made of a softer rubbery type material. So that's kind of interesting there. And you can see some more design work on the neck area. Very cool. Look forward to building this guy. I really have been putting off building this guy. And should get this guy completed soon. Just have to get around to the other figures in the set. But a very nice piece to come included with the 3 Lantern critters here. But this is the Collect and Connect piece that comes with them, the upper torso to Stell. Very cool piece. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Lantern critters here. And as cute as they are, you really cannot underestimate them, and they are not pets, but full-fledged members of their team. So don't let their cuteness fool you. And let's go ahead and take a look at each individual one. And we'll start with Dex-Starr here. And Dex-Starr is a red lantern, and I believe from the description on the packaging, he was a house cat on Earth when a red power ring encountered his rage, I guess. And you can see Dex-Starr here, a feline, a blue feline. So I guess the power ring affected his color, or maybe the previous owner dyed the cat's hair. I'm not sure. You can see he's a very angry cat, and he's got actually pretty good detail for a figure this size. And this figure stands about, I would say, roughly 2 inches, maybe 3 at the most. And the head sculpt is pretty nice. And you can see the eyes here, very glaring eyes. And he's got an open mouth here, ready to take someone out. And you can also see some stripes here on the top of his head that are painted on. It's actually quite neat. And you can see some details in the ears and also on the fur here around the face. It's a pretty cool lantern figure. Red Lantern figure. Not too many Red Lantern figures have been released in the DC Universe or Green Lantern Classics line, but it's nice to have a Red Lantern here. You can see the Red Lantern logo there on the torso, some more striping on the side of his costume there. And what's cool about this figure is the tail. He wears his red power ring on his tail, so that's really kind of cool. Now, Dex-Starr here contains, or it comes included with a construct here, the only figure in the set that comes with a construct. And it's basically the red vomitous construct of rage, I guess. And you can place it in his mouth, right there, and doesn't come off. So typical of the Red Lanterns with the vomitous rage there. I think that's actually kind of cool on there. And this is made of a red translucent plastic there, and you can see some of the details on this. Pretty neat. Now, as far as articulation for Dex-Starr, the head does go all the way around, and it doesn't go up or down or side to side much. The arms do go all the way around on a swivel cut, as well as the legs. They're on a V-cut pattern here, so they go all the way around as well. And the tail does go all the way around as well. And with the red construct on the figure, it does become front heavy, so you really have to, I guess, use the legs and the tail to balance the figure out, and you got to get it in the right position to be able to stand a Dex-Starr upright on there. You just have to really work at it, pretty much. But that's Dex-Starr there. The next lantern critter we have is Despotellis. And I believe Despotellis is out of scale here, because the description basically describes Despotellis as a virus. So I believe that Despotellis is microscopic in size, so he is a little big, unless he's able to grow. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the critters that much, but taking a look at Despotellis here, you can see he does look like a microscopic type of organism, and he's got really, I guess this would be a head on there, and it's got a bumpy surface on there, and this piece here is made of entirely of translucent yellow plastic, which is kind of cool. And then you can see the stalk here to form, I guess, the main body. And you have here, I guess, 6 sets of legs, basically. I don't see any power ring on this particular figure, so I'm wondering if the power ring is within Despotellis, but you just really can't see it. Now, this particular figure doesn't stand on all 6 of his legs. He's not entirely too balanced, but he does stand. He just stands a little off-kilter, depending on how you have him positioned on here. And it's actually a pretty neat figure here. And it's made of a softer material, so you can actually bend the legs a bit, and the stock on here. And the only piece of articulation for Despotellis is the, I guess, the head area that can go all the way around on here. So this is Despotellis. Pretty neat. Now the final lantern critter we have here is Bidge, and I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. I thought it was originally Bidge or Bidig, but I believe it's properly pronounced Bidge on here. And I think Bidge here is the most known of the three lantern critters. At least he's been around in the comics the longest. And I've seen him on several covers and some pictures of him in some comic panels, and I think he's been around the longest. And he's I guess, full-fledged Green Lantern, and he does look cute to me. Very chipmunky, and but like I said, appearances, don't be fooled by their appearances. They are full-fledged members of their teams, and Bidge here is a member of the Green Lantern Corps. And you can see the nice sculpt here for the head and the face, black pupils for the eyes, and tiny little buck teeth on the front. And then you can see some of the sculpt in the hair, which is or fur, which is pretty cool. And he does wield a Green Lantern ring. You can see the sculpt, tiny little sculpt of a ring there. And it's actually painted in metallic green, which is cool. And you can see his Green Lantern logo on his, or emblem on his chest here. Whoops. And he's got painted gloves here, which are slightly gray. It looks like not enough white paint was applied for the gloves. And he does have greenish type boots here, which is kind of cool. And of course he has a tail, which is nicely painted with a pattern here going along the length of the tail, which is pretty cool on here. As far as Bidge's articulation, his head does go all the way around, and it does go up and down slightly, and side to side slightly, which is nice. And like Dex-Starr, basically swivel hinges at the arms and legs. So they can go all the way around at the arms, as well as all the way around at the legs. And the tail does, go all the way around. Now, with this long set of feet here, Bidge is easier to balance than Dex-Starr, and really doesn't need the tail to balance him out. You don't need to place the tail on the floor. So you can actually have him just on his own 2 feet, which is kind of cool. So, really neat lantern critters, and, whoops, I guess he does need his tail to balance him out. And it's just, I'm really glad they actually Mattel has produced these critters, because I really don't see them being produced anytime else. So it's really cool that we have the opportunity to own these lantern critters to fill out the ranks of various lantern corps. But this is my casual peek into the Green Lantern Classics, Bidge, Dex-Starr, and Despotellis. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.